I'm bored. As a parent, those words make me cringe. But what if I told you there's some things that bore you in your life that I can take off your list through automation? Yep, automation. Take some boring tasks both in your work and in your home off your list and spend more time doing what you love. Hi, I'm Jen, founder of Life After Busy and productivity coach for female creatives and entrepreneurs who want to achieve more by doing less. And today we're going to talk about 7 boring things you can automate. Let's get started. We're going to start off with the work tasks. And number 1 I would like to talk about is sales and marketing funnels. Now that's not so boring, right? We want to get leads into our business so we can make money. I think that's why a lot of us have started these businesses in the first place. But creating an evergreen funnel can actually automate this process and kind of take the busy work of constantly following up with leads out of your business because you have this evergreen funnel set up. There's lots of ways to do this. I have learned about the opt-in value offer model from Brendon Burchard. And there's lots of different ways you can create opt-ins and add value. Those include creating a PDF, creating a video series, creating a quiz, creating micro audio summits. And there's lots of experts out there. I'll link down to just a few so you can check more out. But once you set up this funnel, you get their email address, you give them some value, they love what they're seeing, and then you make an offer and it's set up automatically. So it runs all day long while you're working more in your business, and you can still have time to follow up on leads organically if you so choose. So that is number 1. Task number 1 to automate is a sales and marketing funnel. Task number 2 is scheduling meetings. How much time have you guys spent going back and forth with clients or maybe business partners, whoever it is, trying to get a meeting scheduled? Well, Calendly is an automation service that helps schedule appointments. There's others out there. That's just the one I in particular like to use. And I want to share with you one thing that takes that back and forth of all of the let's schedule meetings, all that boring task work out of it. And that is meeting polls. I've just started using this feature. I have spearheaded a charity with my daughter over at her dance studio. And there's a bunch of people that are part of this committee that we've formed to offer dance classes to underprivileged kiddos in our community. But finding a time to meet with this group has been so much. I work during the day. The owner of the dance studio runs classes at night. The person at the after school program is busy during those after school hours. It's crazy. But what I can do through Calendly is actually go into my calendar and pick a couple of dates throughout the week that work for me. And I send them out to the group, and then they get to vote on dates that work for them. And then we just choose whatever date that is received the highest number of votes, that becomes the date that we meet on. So meeting polls are fantastic. Another option with Calendly is routing forms. So say you want to meet with a client to do a one-on-one call to figure out if you guys are a good fit to work together. Routing forms through Calendly, this is a paid for option. The meeting polls is within the free service, but the routing forms is a paid option. You can actually qualify your leads a little bit. You can ask some questions like, how much money do you have to spend on XYZ budget, whatever you're going to be helping them with? How did you find out about me? What are your problems? So you can make sure that your product addresses the problems that your client is coming to you with. So another way to automate within your business is by scheduling meetings, and my tool of choice is Calendly. The third is Zaps. If you haven't heard of Zapier yet, oh my gosh, it is amazing. And basically anything that you find that you're doing in your business on repeat, you're doing it again and again and again, there's probably a Zap for that. Now, I am very new into using Zapier. 2 Zaps that I currently have set up, I'll just give you an example. So I like to post on the regular over on Instagram and a lot of different social media platforms, but Instagram is my number one. Each time I post to Instagram, I have a Zap set up that takes that Instagram post and it puts it over into a file in my Dropbox called Best of IG, Best of Instagram. At the end of the week, I go in and I look at the analytics in my Instagram account. I see which one performed the best. I put little stars on them, and those are the posts that I repurpose because I know that they've performed well. But that Zap makes it so easy to go in and do that task on a regular basis. I don't even think about it. And the second Zap that I have set up is actually with another automation platform called Deadline Funnel, but it's the way I offer the bonuses for the Life After Busy boot camp. And when you sign up for my boot camp, when you first go through and learn all about the reset routine, which I will link below, it's amazing, the most productive 10 minutes of your day. When you go through and you watch that video series and learn how to reset, at the end, I give you an offer for the Life After Busy boot camp. And there are a bunch of bonuses thrown in with that offer when you first receive it. But you have to act within 14 days. So the Zap is set up that after you click on opt-in and give me your email address and watch those videos, it starts the timer for the 14 days. And automatically, once that time is up, you can still buy the Life After Busy Bootcamp, but you're not getting all the amazing bonuses that are included. So those are 2 Zaps that I set up. I have barely touched the surface though. So really look at your business, find a task that you're doing over and over again. As long as it's tech-based, I bet there is a Zap for that. And then the third inside of the work tasks that you can automate is assigning tasks to others, whether it be a virtual assistant, maybe it's a collaboration partner, or maybe it's a coworker. I do this through Trello because that is where I organize all of my tasks and that is where I organize my projects. So when I create a card inside of Trello, I can break down and add little to-dos within that card, and I can assign my virtual assistant to do XYZ task when I create it. I'll actually send an email notification to her. She also has access to that board and she can check it off when it's done. Okay, I hope you found some ways to automate some boring tasks within your business. So now let's move on to your personal life. First one I'd love to address is bills. Oh my gosh, how much I hate to do the finances, but all of us need to be on top of our finances in order to live a responsible and full life, right? So we can auto pay, we can put our bills, we can automate our bills. And I think that's a no-brainer, you know this, but how many of you do it? One. And I want to put out a word of caution in that, like I said, all of us need to stay on top of our finances. We need to know what money we have coming in, where we're spending our money, and make sure that we're budgeting for our future. If you are not on top of your spending, automating your bills is not the right choice for you because it becomes seamless and you don't see it. So it's like that money just comes in and goes out and you never really knew it was there. So once you do have a good understanding of where your money's going, automate those bills, take that off your plate. Task number 2 is a family calendar. Oh my gosh, I have so many resources on this. I will link to one of them down below. I used to talk about creating a family calendar nonstop. But this is definitely a way you can automate some things in your personal life. Depends on how old your kids are. My kids are now 16 and 12. And the 16-year-old definitely gets like looking at the calendar on her phone. She has to take responsibility of putting her own appointments in. Yes, I do check on her, but even something like soccer practice or a game on Saturday or, your business trip to, my husband's in Boston right now, and he had that business trip marked in the calendar. When you put it in your calendar and put it into a family calendar, rather than trying to communicate that appointment to everybody else, it makes it more automatic because it has the times in there. If you put location in there, it'll even give them a heads up on like when it's time to leave to go to their next destination. I use Apple Calendar. It definitely has that feature. Most digital calendars have that feature. It can even set off reminders so that you don't forget to go, or if it's a repeating event. So say every Sunday night at 7 o'clock, grandpa comes over for Sunday dinner. You want to make sure all of the family's here. You put it into the calendar on a repeating event. And also, if you see that there's a conflict when you're doing your weekly review, more information on that one below as well. You can see that that's going to conflict with it far enough in advance that you can rearrange. So many advantages to automating your family calendar. And again, there's a resource below that shows you exactly how to do that. The third and my last automation for you today is ordering the essentials. Oh my gosh, how much do I love Amazon for this? I do have, not everything, but certain things that I get on the regular that just come automatically to me. You have to play around with Amazon a little bit for it to learn your buying preferences. It usually suggests, I'll give a confession, something I always have, I'll show you, it's actually like right next to me right here, is gum. I have an addiction to gum. It's my vice. There's a lot worse things, but this is one thing that I have on automatic because I can't get that type of gum in the bulk that I want at Costco. It's a better bet to buy it from Amazon, and it's something that comes to me on a regular basis. So when you go into Amazon, it'll make a suggestion of how frequently that most of their customers order it on. I had to adjust because I chew a lot of gum, so mine comes more often. And I don't even have to think about it. It literally will show up at my doorstep just about as I'm gonna run out. So automate ordering essentials that make sense for you, something that you can't get at Costco for cheaper, or maybe you can, but you just want it, the extra dollars in your pocket are worth making that Costco trip. So I hope that gives you guys all some ideas of how to take these boring tasks off your list. If it's not something that you can automate, go and it's something that you need to delegate, I will link right here my video on delegation. Check that out, and I hope you have an amazing day. See you next week.